Okay, I got the Peerless Transaxel back together. As you can see, everything is working the way it should. It spins here. It's currently in neutral, but I have ran it through all the gears, including reverse. Everything is working correctly. The biggest thing I can tell you when doing this, be patient and make sure you have everything lined up. You definitely don't want to crack your case once you start tightening down your bolts. Just take your time, make sure everything's lined up. There's little keys in here that need to be in the right spots on the different shafts. I'll show more on the actual parts transaxle. I'll show what I'm talking about. But just be patient. Everything will key together the way it should, and the case will go together. If you got gaps, either at the back or at the front, or if it's doing a teeter-totter, open it back up. Like, don't even put your bolts in yet. Just open the case back up. Make sure everything is in there correctly. Also, while you're in there, re-grease your axles. That's always a good thing to do. The grease does break down over time. Yeah, it's still sticky, but just smear grease all over the gears and the axle shafts. It will definitely help longevity of these transaxles as well. Something I wish I would have done is grease the gear selector and the input shaft, but I did not take either of them out. I did have the gear selector partially out, but I did not want to damage the case by trying to tap it back in, since that's where a lot of my problems were with this actual transmission. Something else I did with this is I filled it with oil as well. I used this right here. The parts transaxle that the bottom half of the case came out of also had oil in it as well, and I never had leaks out of that one. Just put a good layer of sealant around the outside edge, make sure everything's clean, whatever sealant you want to use, put it together, and you're good. As long as you don't fill it all the way up to the top, you should not get leaks. As long as you're just filling the bottom half of the case, you should be good. Yes, there's grease in there, but really the oil will actually help as well. And grease and oil, I've never had an issue with them in the past. I know there'll be someone out there that will say, oh, they won't work together, but they don't seem to be too bad for all the ones I have worked on. So anyways, for this one right here, it is now done. What I'm thinking about also doing is, I mentioned this previously, here are the other locations right here and here, here and here. These don't get bolted to the actual machine, so I'm thinking about doing is putting bolts in those locations just to help keep the case a little bit more stiff, and will prevent it from wanting to shift and crack, hopefully. Something else you could also do is make up brackets that'll go from here up to your frame. I'm not going to go that extreme, but it's definitely something you could do and would definitely add a lot more support to your actual transaxle. Because you actually bolt in from these outer ones right here and here, and you do have support right here. So you have support here, here, and I figured it'd be good to have support here, or at least holding the case together here, because your next supports are right here, and on this side is here and here. So I'm thinking about doing that. I may or may not, but most likely I will. Also, don't forget your center bolt. A lot of times when you're taking these apart, a lot of people forget about that center bolt and they crack the case. Like I said, this is not my first time taking this apart, and I've watched videos many years ago on how to do these properly. This is actually the first one I've done in maybe 6 years. It's been a long time since I've been into one of these transaxles, and really I did pretty good. It's all back together and everything's working correctly, and this time the check ball is actually in place. One of the ones I've taken apart in the past, I forgot the check ball. Yes, it still worked, but it doesn't work as well. I think that might be the one that's in one of my machines out back, but I could be wrong on that. I don't really remember. But actually, there's really only one machine it could be in, which is the Hoopty build. But I don't know. But anyways, for this transaxle, as of right now, it is done. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment, and stay tuned for another video of the parts transaxle and my first locker that'd be my second locker I ever built. Bye for now.